Hey everybody, and welcome to Let's Try. Today we're going to try out this new indie game, Stray Cat Crossing. Now, before we get started... sorry, just turn the volume down there. Before we get started, just a couple things that I have to go over. One, I've had a hell of a time trying to record this game. I finally got it, but man, ooh, it did not want to be recorded. But here we are. Two, as you can already probably see, the options, right, being that there are none. Now, as you can also see, this is version 1, so they may add stuff in the future, but as for now, there's no graphical options, no controller tie options. Things that would be really easy to add. Like, I'm not a big options guy, like, settings guy. I mean, like, a lot of that stuff doesn't really bother me, but, like, there's a lot of things in this game that I wish they could have put options on. So, and you can't see it because I'm editing it out, but also the way that it looks on screen is very weird. It puts some weird, like, strange black bars on the side, and I just want it to be full screen. You can't tell because it's edited out. I edited it out because it doesn't look good, which is why it bothers me that it's there at all. But now that those little bitches are out of the way, I'm probably going to keep bitching about things, but I'm going to go into it to start off with. So this is a horror game. 16-bit, maybe 8-bit as you can see. Oh man, that frame rate is not doing great. Okay. So let's go look around. Little girl. Hey, are you okay? What's wrong? Are you lost? I'm scared. I want to go home. There's a lot of fucking dialogue in this game. I'm gonna read it all, though. It is pretty late. Do you know where your house is? ... Yes. It's that way. I can take you home if you want. Alright, I'm just gonna let them talk. Because I just realized that I wanted to read the dialogue, because the dialogue is really cool, but if I read the whole thing, it's just gonna... it's just gonna be that, the video. But, so first off, you might be able to hear as I'm pressing my space bar, I'm not using the controller for this game. And that's because it does have controller support. It does, but the controller setup is very weird and makes the game kind of unplayable. So I'm not using it. At least for me, and I've tried a couple controllers, so I don't think it's my controllers, but for me, I don't know how to describe it. The joystick to move around, when you press left and right, it does stuff, whatever. If you press up and down, it does stuff. But if you're not pressing straight up or straight down, it, like, doesn't work. Like, if you're pressing up, but even a little bit, say, to the left, like, just, like, up and to the left slightly, it'll just throw you to the left. And since it's a 16-bit game, there's only 4 directions of motion, you know, there's no going diagonal, it's up, down, left, right, and so it's really hard to get your character to consistently walk up or down because it's really sensitive, and so it's really aggravating, and there's no way to, like, change, like, because if you could tie it to the D-pad on the Xbox controller, that'd be fine, you know, but you can't, because there's no tying anything. So I just kind of stopped. I just kind of gave up and was like, nah. You know what I'm saying? So, like, so that was annoying to start off with. So now I'm just doing mouse and keyboard because, you know, whatever. But, well, just keyboard actually, no mouse at all. But I just wish there was ways to, and also the rest of the buttons are weird, and it lies to you sometimes. Like, it told me that a button for, I think, jumping was A, and it's not. And then I realized that A is what you do to jump on the keyboard, so they don't have different graphics for when you're using a compatible controller. So there's a lot of nitpicks that I have for this game, but in general, as you can see, looking at it right now, it is pretty. You know, like, they did a good job with the look of the game. Like, it looks absolutely phenomenal. The entire game. I've played about an hour of it through so far, and it looks amazing. Both the regular world and the little sprites that come up are all... The world is just detailed enough to pull you in without being so detailed where you don't still get that kind of retro 16-bit feel. Same thing with the characters that pop up. They look perfect. Like, the character design on these people are absolutely amazing. I just wish I just wish they had a controller that pulled it up. Okay, so I don't know if you looked at that, but we gave that girl a scarf to keep warm, and then she left, but we want our scarf back, so we're going in. We're going in. Hello? The door's open. All right. Yes, I will. I will enter. So yeah, the controller support and the lack of options both annoy me. It really detracts from the game, and that's a shame because it's a great game. I'm really enjoying it. Oh yeah, this is the little girl that follows you around and lets you save the game. That's my regular save file right there. And it only says 26 minutes, but it's alive, played like an hour. And there's like a run button, which is sprint, and it's like a certain button on the controller. Okay, I'll stick on this way, that's true. Oh yeah, and this is, if you can't tell already, this is a horror game, a 16-bit horror game. It reminds me a lot of To the Moon, actually, except To the Moon was not a horror game, but if To the Moon was a horror game, it would be a lot like this. There's really... Oh yeah, I forgot about that guy. I love how she's just like, LOL, nope, fuck that shit, dude. Fuck that shit, dude. So, the atmosphere, the music in this game, oh, the music's gorgeous. The atmosphere is perfect. It's just a bunch of little things, and I think one of those little things is about to happen right now. No, actually, never mind, I'm wrong. But yeah, if you can hear that music, and I'll probably make the music a little bit louder on this one, just because it's so good. Oh, door's locked. But yeah, so this is a horror game. It has a really nice, creepy air to it. Just look at these guys. Like, that little, like, head twitch and face change that they do every time they talk is... Oh, it's freaky, man. It gets me. It gets me in my core. It gets me in my soul. I don't like it. I mean, I love it, but I don't like it. This is just the first level of the game, and basically it's just these two fucking with you. She never met us, did she? I love the dialogue. The dialogue is also super well written because everyone's just a little bit off. And I've been skipping through a lot of it just so that I can show you as much of the game as I can, just to get the mechanics and the puzzling and the riddles and stuff that you get to. But the little laugh sound effects, just so many portions of this game are so well designed. Music's great, the way it looks is great, the aesthetic is great. The writing is great. And is there a way out? Out, yes. Doubt, yes. See, just little things like that. These two, like, all the characters always, like, work off each other and just kind of, like, change the stuff they say. And it's just so interesting the way a flavor, like, the way that the world works in this game is so interesting. What's the favor? Alright, they're asking us for a favor. Let's see what we're gonna do. And he doesn't like the dog, apparently. Can you tell me its name? Alright. Here. Then we can leave. Alright, so we gotta find the dog's name. And then, here, let's look at the dog. Oh. So it's just a little, like, all the art is great. Little swan. Alright, let's head out. No, we gotta save. Actually, no, yeah, let's save, actually. I changed my mind. Little saving girl. Let's get in here. This is the first room. And, oh, again. No, it hasn't happened yet. Alright, there's another little tiny thing this game does that really bothers me, and it hasn't done it yet, but I'll point it out when it happens. Because it's not super hard to explain, but I'll wait till there's a visual representation of it to be clear about what I mean. So there's some diary written by some sort of mysterious gentleman or lady, who knows. For example, the extract of rose emanates warmth even in the coldest conditions. The rest is scribbled out. Alright. So this is kind of one of those games where you kind of just, how do I describe it? You kind of just click everything until you get it right. So I'm going to be able to go through this quickly because I already know what to do because I played through it a little bit. But first time through, there's a lot of things that, because the logic of the world isn't exactly clear. Because you're like, what's going on, you know? Like, even your main character doesn't seem to completely be all there. And then there's shit like this, which just like, its mouth is chained and locked shut. Cool. Like, I'm glad. Like, so, the logic of the world isn't exactly clear. So sometimes the puzzles don't really make sense. But it's okay they don't make sense, because it's a creepy, topsy-turvy world, you know? But that kind of just leads you to end up just clicking on everything until you win, which honestly doesn't bother me. But that's just kind of how the game works. And, yeah. Yeah, there it is right there. It's the first, that one's not as bad as some of the other ones, but the little things like that are just like weird video-looking things that just sort of pull you out of the whole experience. Like, I don't know. They do like 4 or 5 of them per level, and it's very strange. Because I feel like the look of the world is already so great and fantastic that I don't... What's this guy? I don't see why you need to interrupt it with those little, like, jump scare segments, you know? Like, it bothers me a little bit, because I feel like they almost didn't trust their own game enough. They didn't trust, like, the atmosphere and just the setting that they put it in to be scary enough, so they felt like they had to put in jump scares. You know, and I feel like the jump scares, quote-unquote jump scares, and the little, like, cutaway sections really detract. Because it pulls you out of the experience a little bit, it pulls you away from the aesthetic, and this game doesn't need jump scares. Like, it's atmospheric, it's creepy, you know? There doesn't need to be anything, and there's some things later on that look really fucked up, even though they're only 8-bit, they managed to make them look really cool and freaky. And it just doesn't need that extra sort of push of things jumping out at you, you know, or like, ooh, static, because it doesn't make sense in the context of the game, because it's something that's like happening to your screen and not to your character. And so, it at least for me, it really pulls me out. Alright, let's play this little film reel. Oh yeah, and like this, like things like this are genius. Like whoever animated this did a great job. Yeah, just like that. Something about like things like that. Like this is genius. These are freaky, you know. Like, and it's put out in this like weird, stilted sort of. I don't know. It's very off-putting, and I love it. Like I love the feeling that it. Yeah, I forgot that happened. Yeah, that's enough of a jump scare right there. Did you come back and there's just like a thing behind you? Like you intrinsically don't like that, you know? And it works, and they do it so well in so many places, and then they just do the weird little, and it's about to happen again, I think. Yeah, like, what's the point of that? It's just there to make you jump, but it doesn't have to do at all with the universe or anything going on, and it's just silly. I don't know, I don't like it. I wish they hadn't. It almost feels like whoever made the game, the developers of the game, almost thought they had to put in little extra jump scares like that, and so they did. Oh, didn't mean it. Oh, whatever. Fout. Here, I misspelled it. Sorry, it's Faust. As in the deal with the devil sort of thing. I wonder what that could mean. Correct. Little guy thinks I cheated. Big guy thinks I cheated too. Fucking, I didn't cheat. Unless I did cheat. I'm not exactly sure what the rules were. But if the rules were to just find the name, I didn't cheat. The favorite food of the ram. Oh yeah, this is freaky too. Yeah, just so many little things. The atmosphere and the music in this game are absolutely perfect. I can't stress enough how perfect the atmosphere of these games are, but it just, or this game anyways, I don't know if they'll make a sequel, so I shouldn't say these games, but it's just astounding. And then they have to go and do little weird jump scare things that I don't understand. Like, it just pulls me straight out of the whole thing. And it's, This game, because I even after the hour I played of it, I loved this game, but it took me forever to set up. It took me forever to get the controls to a point, and even the even the controls without the gamepad, you know, the mouse and keyboard controls are still a little wonky. They're still a little weird. Oh, yeah, and like that's great too. And the puzzles, actually, I feel like the puzzles are a okay amount of hard. What does the ram see? This wall. Dead bird. Wait, what is the inscription again? Maybe I forgot how to. What does the ram see? What does the ram see? Seems to be facing the far wall. There's nothing here. Oh, okay. I remember this now. Boom. Yeah. Alright, so, yeah, it's just... I would absolutely adore this game if it weren't for these just... See, like, what's the point of that? Like, it completely... Because it has nothing to do with the characters or the world of the game. And so it just totally pulls me out because it's like... It's almost like it's like if you were playing this game and every, like, 5 minutes someone came and just, like, poked you in the eye. It's completely distracting. It pulls you right out, and it reminds you that you're not in the world. It reminds you that you're sitting and playing a video game. You know? Like, I hate things like that. And I feel like it almost does a disservice to the wonderful atmosphere that this game has. And it's just a shame. It is just a shame. Because without those little things, without the controls being kind of wonky, and one specific other thing that I haven't gotten to yet, and all this stuff. What's that key to again? I don't remember. This would be one of my favorite games because I love games of this style. I love horror games that are about atmosphere, not about jump scares. I love. Yeah, sure, use the key. Where does the key go? I don't fucking remember. Oh, I remember. Key goes to the horn's mouth, which is not weird at all. All right, yeah, but yeah, so I absolutely adore games like this, and I just wish there weren't all these little nitpicky things. Like if it was just one or two of these things, I wouldn't mind, but there's like 3 or 4 things that all just kind of add up, and it makes me sad. Because it's just a little polish. It just needed a little tiny thing, and this would be in my top 3 of the year, probably. Maybe top 5 of the year, but still, it'd be in my top something of the year, because this game is super fun, super atmospheric. The music, perfect. It has all this like emotional level to it that, again, reminds me a lot of To the Moon. But there's just these little things, these little nitpicky things that I'm like, I can't fully 100% get behind this. And when we finally get to the other thing that bothers me, I'm sure it's probably where I'll end the video, because it's just it's crazy and silly. But sing us the perfect song with the perfect voice. A song with the voice of choice. Can you sing us? Oh, no thanks. That's Graham. I only said that because I know that they don't take kindly to you trying to sing. But just no, never mind. I won't save right now. Yeah, all these, and see like book pages turning by themselves, like, whoever made this game. Oh, what's the developer name? I'm blanking. I'll probably put it in right here. I'll just put in a little, or I'll put it in the description of the video, definitely. But the developers, I think there's 2 of them. I think it was a 2-guy team, maybe girl, I don't know, 2-person team, let's say. Clearly have a love for this, what is, oh yeah, scribbled out. The blue potions revives dead things. The people who made this game clearly have a love for horror. Like, they do so many things right. They do so many things that I love in horror games. Correct. And then there's all just these little things that I can't get behind. And I wish they'd had some sort of, I don't know, it feels like little QA things. Like, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, it's like, why? Like, what? It totally pulls you out of the theming and the mood and the atmosphere, and I think it's silly. And yeah, that too. Like, the fact that you come back and he's in a different place. Like, oh, things like that wreck me. But, like, chicken. So yeah, I wonder how much this game was QA'd, was tested. Because I feel like this is almost a case of too much direction, if that makes sense. Oh, excuse me. Like, too much really wanting to go in a single direction. Ooh, pretty bird song. And not being open enough to maybe things that are inherent in the direction you're going that don't work as well. Or like things that you want to do, but then they don't end up working with the style of thing you've created. I know I have that a lot, where I'll make a thing and there'll be certain aspects of that thing that don't work with the overall tone. Happens in reviews, happens in videos a lot, and you kind of have to go back and like and show it to other people and let them kind of tell you what doesn't fit. So I wonder if they had that. You know, I wonder. It makes me feel like they didn't maybe have that person telling them what doesn't fit with the thing they've created, because I'm sure they had all these great ideas and they're like, let's just put as much of it all in, because so many things in this game are brilliant. And also, yeah, another nitpicky thing is, and I should have said this at the beginning, every time that you close a text box, it makes a kind of a loud noise that's just a little annoying. Like, it's like I said, it's nothing big. Like, on my core, I am complaining a lot, but at my core, I absolutely love this game. But it was stopping me from, like, really loving it, really putting it at the top, is just all these little things. Like, these developers... Oh, yes, I can. If they ever make another game, I'd be super excited for it, because there's so much passion and so much done right in this game, but just a lot of the little finesse things aren't quite as polished as maybe you'd like, that I feel like what they learned from making this game, if they make a second game, it will be amazing. So I'm definitely going to watch for these developers, and I would encourage anyone to, because they're on point. It's just all these little tiny things. So I think these guys are going to let me go now. But yeah, all this being said, even after this video, I'm finishing this game. You know, I'm going through finishing the game because it's super intriguing, it's super cool to look at. Like, every new creature or like thing like these guys that pop up, I'm just like, dang, like, it's so cool. But it's just all these little things that prevent me from 100% loving the game. You know, last time I said no to them because they're telling me to stay. Last time I said no, but this time I'll say yes to see what happens. Yeah, sure, I'll stay. It'll be fun. Who knows when we'll be done? Fun forever. Forever and ever and ever. Oh, why is the screen getting darker? Seriously? Seriously? Come on. Okay. Well, that also pisses me off. So maybe I spoke too soon. Alright. You know what? I'm ending the video there. Because that's just completely soured my mood for it. That's dumb. You shouldn't... Because how are you supposed to know? You shouldn't have you shouldn't have an end state started by a completely random choice. That's... Like, how are you supposed to know that saying yes would... That's one of those... That's the game design thing that I think is very important, is that you need to make sure that people know... Well, because saying yes having an unexpected consequence is fine, but having that consequence be death, that's, you know, death isn't like... A loss isn't something that you mess around with without really knowing what you're doing, because winning and losing for, especially a video game, is very important. But I will say the one other thing, to now one larger thing of a list of things that I didn't like in this game, the next part that I was about to show you, but now I'm not going to, is there's a monster, beautifully designed monster, that chases you down a hallway. And you have to jump over all these holes for this hallway, and suddenly the game gets really skill-based, right? Like, it's really hard to do. It took me a long time to beat that section because the controls are so janky. And it's just, I'm looking at it and I'm like, why did you do this? Like, you had a perfect formula, a perfect atmospheric, calm little horror, kind of psychological thriller, not really thriller, but just psychological feel to everything, and then suddenly you're having this skill-based thing, which is an entirely different thing. I don't know, I have so much to say about it. I might make a full episode on this. I know I say that about like everything, but I think I actually will, because there's a lot to dissect in this game. But I will say at the end of the day, even though I did complain a lot, and there is a not small list of things that really annoy me about this game, that should tell you how much the rest of it is good, right? Like, and you can see it through, I didn't pay much attention to the story because I just wanted to kind of see how far I could get, but at least that time, when I was playing by myself, I was paying attention to the story. Like, beautiful story, wonderfully, like, vague characters, like, you don't know why. At one point, your character, like, is thrown out of the house, and you try to get back in because she just really wants her scarf. Like, I don't know, and so there's all these cool things. The story is amazing, the music 10 out of 10, no question. The art design is amazing. The main mechanics are amazing. The way they do the horror stuff, great. It's just all these little things. The jump scare, they're too flagrant with death. When you do die, the death screen is kind of lame. Like, the noises every time you close a text box. It's all of these little finesses that are super important to game feel that I feel like they didn't 100% nail. But the framework is there, and the art is there, and the passion is clearly there, which is why I do recommend this game at the end of the day. But it has its problems. So after that, I'll see you guys next time. Stray Cat Crossing. Large benefit of the doubt as to its quality.
On it, you know, sort of a, like, just because we show you a giant fish doesn't mean you need to go kill it. You can,